Sports, news, smack, Rome, only on CBS Sports Network.
Welcome back to Rome. My guest tonight is in his fourth season as NFL head coach. All at Detroit. His team has won 3 of its last 4. They're currently sitting at 4-4. I'm joined by Lions head coach Jim Schwartz. Jim, it's good to have you. How are you?
Thanks for having me.
Good to have you. All right, so you're coming off a win over Jacksonville. You put it to them pretty good. Do you feel like that might have been the most complete game that your team has played this year?
You know, I think we played a good game the week before against Seattle. I think we're improving as a team. We started off the season 1-3. Weren't playing our best. We won 3 out of our last 4, and it just got done a real difficult stretch where 3 out of 4 were on the road also. So we can still improve as a team, particularly this time of year. You want to keep improving, get back to 500, which we did, set ourselves up for the second half of the season.
Yeah, I'm sure the goal was not to be at 500 8 games in, but considering you did start 1-3, how does it feel to be there right now?
Well, you know, like I said, when you start 1-3, you put yourself behind the 8 ball a little bit. You know, particularly with the situation where most of our beginning games were on the road, so we didn't have Ford Field to be able to lean back on and be able to get that home crowd boost. So we knew we were going to have to win on the road. Just to get back to 500, set ourselves up for the second part of the season. You know, like any other team, we've experienced some injuries, lost a couple of players, but we've had some big contributions from some other players. I think we've always been known as a passing offense. You've seen the last couple of games us run the ball very well. We have 4 rushing touchdowns this last game, 150 yards rushing, and we've been very efficient in our run game. And that's sort of taken a little bit of the pressure off our passing game.
All right, so let me go back to the passing game for a minute. Calvin Johnson had a big game. He had 7 receptions, 129 yards, and that was after missing an entire week of practice. You knew you'd get something from him, but did you expect to get that much from him in that game?
Yeah, nothing that Calvin ever does surprises us. He had a hard time the week and wasn't able to get out on the practice field. Warmed up before the game and was willing to give it a go, and we knew he was going to be limited. You know, but he makes such a difference on the field, just his presence on the field. But then also just having the production that he had, being able to move the chains on 3rd down, make a couple big plays for us. I think a really big play was we drew him off sides, and Stafford just put a ball up to him. He made the catch, got it down to the 1-yard line. We were able to put that ball in, and you know, anytime Calvin has over 100 yards, that bodes well for our offense and our ability to be able to score.
You know, he had that big game, but still has that 1 touchdown for the entire year. Why are he and Stafford not connecting more frequently in the end zone? I know nothing's easy, but why are they not finding each other?
Well, he had one that was called for offensive pass interference. We just missed another, and I think he's had 5 this year that have been inside the 2-yard line. It's either been 4 or 5. So he's been close, and whether we're running that ball across on the next play or throwing it to somebody else, the touchdown's the only thing that matters. Neither Matt or Calvin are selfish players. You know, they want to succeed, but they want the team to succeed. And, you know, however we're getting those 7 points, it really doesn't matter on the scoreboard. It's all the same. And Calvin's been able to set those scores up, you know, maybe a little bit like an assist in hockey.
You know, we talked about the 1-3 start, Jim. You're coming off a year where you were 10-6, obviously huge expectations. When the team got out slowly and you were 1-3, exactly what did you tell them?
Nothing other than to concentrate on the next game. You know, we've all seen teams start fast and then fade, and we've seen teams, you know, start slow and then get going as the season went on. I mean, our players have been around the NFL. They know that last year the New York Giants were 7-7 and ended up winning the Super Bowl. The year before that, Green Bay was 7-7, ended up winning the Super Bowl. You got to persevere through a lot of situations. You're not always going to play your best over the course of every game, over 16 games. But you have to put mistakes behind you. You have to improve, and you have to get hot at the right time, and you have to keep yourself afloat. I think we were able to do that, particularly over these last 4 games, that set ourselves up in position that we can make a run.
Sports, news, smack, Rome, only on CBS Sports Network.